Alright, so the first we have a spawn at the bottom is the pocket for DoD's BrT right now. And pretty nice spot that you get for the giraffes on this Blue Lagoon map. And as for the overall theme of what this map is about, is basically the same aggressive setup as other maps with a bit different layout, and it's usually kinda okayish on the hunt. Oh, we should be seeing some very nice game here and a very aggressive one because it isn't really closed, and as you can see at the TCs, they are kinda in the middle here, the third TCs, so that's going to be very interesting how players actually tackle this kind of problem. The Brighead's base right now is okay. He's already cast his starting gold mine, and moving a bit to the right, he has just discovered that he's having a pretty nice herd of zebras just the right of him. That's going to be very nice for him, as he won't have to go into some brutal forward hunting, as there's another one at the back. The next from the DoDs to have a look at is J4 playing his favorite Thor, and he's discovering his zebras next to his 30C at the forefront. And well, he's already having relic right in his base, 5% villager wood and gold gather rates. That's actually super nice. And if you have this right in your base, that's basically an extra push for your game. And I'm thinking that DoDs won't be needing this, but it will be very nice bonus for them indeed. Very nice elephants together with the gold at the right. That's going to be very sweet for J4, and something interesting at the left here for Killer Boy. Giraffes are standard, already gathering gold. Seeing some alleys here. And well, his forward TC is kinda okay. It's between him and Brickhead, so he doesn't really have anything like here to contest with this opponent Metallo, so it's going to be pretty interesting. And well, J4 just now signaling that Leonardo is at the right, and he knows who is going to be his 1v1 opponent if that's going to come to that. What is not happening on the left with the TC is happening on the right with Leonardo's forward being basically in the middle between him and J4. So that's going to be hotly contested TC, this one. And we'll see how actually both players are going to approach this. I'm thinking that J4 is going for some very nice aggression at the start, the same as on the last game. And well, Leonardo didn't really like that much in the last game on the Medit. His map seems to be kinda okay. Do I see though some extra hunt? Just the zebras at the forefront and something else? Yeah, extra zebras here, so yeah, he's fine. I was just worried for a bit that he might be having some problems with that, but not anymore. And what's this? 5% building crush armor. That could be nice, especially for some walling. And the pocket for Seattle, for BrT Seattle, still gathering from his giraffes. And well, this is where the spy from the left player from Killer Boy has been cast, and that's kinda okayish, and it seems like he will be interested in the wood line here and not much in the food gathering, so that's interesting. And already Seattle is dropping his temple. That's 330 advance more or less, so that's standard for the Oranos and nothing all that unexpected. Having zebras at the back near the TC, so it's going to be very nice for him. And something else at the forefront of, well, not really, just Metallo here. Come on, Shockwave, especially when it's shortened. Of course you can survive it. This is, well, very nice spot in the forefront, because once he gathers this, before actually some raiding starts, he will be able to go for some back hunt, but is there some? Yeah, those series. Alright, that's pretty nice. I'm pretty sure it's somehow probably between us, but in the game room we are okay. And yeah, unfortunately, you guys, Metallo and Leonardo, are yellow and such to other players in the game as well, so it's more like difficult connection for you. But yes, ping is usually between two players, so it's not like I will be without ult as well. Already advancing into classical age Metallo here through Athena. It's going to be very fast, like 430 as well, together with all his allies. Well, how's he looking for dots? 13% into 430 for Killer Boy. The pocket is already 40% in, so it's going to be okayish. And J4 40% as well. So everybody advancing at pretty much the same time. J4 already nicely walling. Unfortunately for him, Leonardo is aware right now. But it's not that bad, because this guy will have to retreat somewhere else if he wants to be walled. He wants to be walled, but right now, I'm not exactly sure if that's what's going to be happening here. But maybe it will, because the second Oracle is going for some aggressive scouting and already aiming to actually meet up with this pulp at this right side. And yeah, that's going to be Valor here pretty soon. Does he have the third Oracle somewhere? No, I don't see it. So that's that. And well, where is going to be the aggression here? Leonardo is definitely going for it, as he's building his military buildings in the forefront, right next to his gathering point for food. He definitely isn't aiming to let this go. Going to scout with his little Prometheans. Well, how's it going on the left? Well, Killer Boy right now will be under attack from Metal here, and is this actually Athena Rush? Archery Range Military Academy. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Is it actually going to kill the man, or 64 hit points? It seems like he's just unlucky. Almost killed, but not just yet. It is slightly unfortunate, and yes, this is some kind of double actually brewing at the left. That's quite interesting. It seems like full Athena Raj from Metallo. But yeah, that's seriously slow. You can see that Killer Boy already is having quite a lot of Hersirs, Lady Cavalry, and well, since he's a Loki, he can actually expect some nice mythical drops pretty soon, and not even the allies here. The green player who is actually going from all the way from his base. That's kinda unfortunate. If you actually aim to go for some fighting, that's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. On the right side, J4 is right now battling 1v1 with Leonardo, and he's having his Willies under fire here. Yeah, that's not really going all that well, and it seems like Leonardo is getting the better of J4, which is maybe slightly unexpected if you remember the last game. But, well, it just shows that Leonardo is not any weak player at all. So J4 right now having to take this careful. And this is very unfortunate for him, because all these will be the gain, which means all that less food from the gathering here. Yeah, that's bad, and I'm not exactly sure if he has some extra hunt at the back. We see some dots, some brown dots on the minimap, so he might have something, but still, this is bad. Yeah, and there's a double, as we expected on the top, because Killer Boy is not being helped by Brighead right now, who has joined J4, as he actually thinks that J4 can't defend by himself, and well, he will have to switch pretty soon, because it's not like Killer Boy can actually fight two armies at once, especially when one of them is Zeus, and they do have the restoration here. So they better be careful. And do we see some towers being researched from Killer Boy? I think this would be a pretty prudent time right now, but he probably doesn't have the resources for it. So he has to be super careful, and he's not just getting any mythical spawns, which is very unfortunate, and he needs that to actually battle on some good grounds here. But the Brigade is arriving at the scene, and this... well, that's an important battle, and restoration won't probably be far off. This would be a pretty good spot to cast it. Because if they do, they basically annihilate all those armies and will be having everything. Yeah, here it is. That's pretty good. And if you look at the minimap on the right, J4 is actually not winning against Leonardo either. So that's very interesting, as BrT are definitely taking the upper hand here. And, well, they are pushing dots pretty hard. If you look at the score, they are winning quite convincingly at this point. And this double army is very strong right now. Metallo didn't lose, like, literally anything. And, well, strong army here. How's it looking at the right? J4 was able somehow to defend. And is he going for some towers? Because if once he does, he will be pretty much safe. He has nicely protected towers by the houses. So that's going to be very nice indeed. Well, Leonardo's army is right now killed. Yeah, this is not good enough. And I'm thinking that J4, however bad it actually looked for him at the minimap, he's right now doing pretty well. So this double is going well, but Brighead actually is not helping his teammate and he's going for something else. He's going for some heavy raiding and he just found Metallo's Phillies, which is very important because this will mean 2, 3, 4. Wow. 5 food is dead. At this stage of the game, this puts a serious break and the Athena Rush from Metallo. So very nice job by Killer Boy. I think this was well worth it. But can they actually defend this push here? I think they might, because there is not really enough military or melee units here. Just a few hoplites and a Minotaur. And with a bit of micro, this should be killable. But especially like if the TC actually started firing those hoplites, because they are the ones that are the most dangerous. And well, we need a whole lot of army here from Brighead to actually help, because Killer Boy is not having enough, because oh, he's having pretty bad idols here, and that's gold willies, I think. Yeah, that's definitely gold willies, and that's not helping. That's not helping at all. Wow, so BrT is doing very well indeed in this game, and can they take this TC down? They definitely can, as it is down. And that's not good news for Killer Boy. Having ton of idols, TC down, and kinda surprised that this good old Athena Rush, together with the help from Orano's teammate, is doing the job here very nicely. So, after a pretty nice strategy and the medit, where DoD's basically taught BrT a lesson right now, they are the ones being taught a lesson here. So pretty good job, and this is a victory on the left, and also looking at the right with J4. He is doing kinda okayishly with his opponent Leonardo. It's kinda not decided in any way, and it seems like J4 is right now abandoning everything in his base and hoping that he can defend. Is he at least building some towers here or upgrading? No, he isn't, so he is basically leaving his base open right now and hoping for some, just as I was saying it, he's going back, and well, Brighead is right now the most important player in DoD's team, as he is the one who can turn this game around back in DoD's favor. With his amount of army and upgrades on this medium raider, you can see that Seattle doesn't really have anything, just the free Media Turmas, but no upgrades whatsoever on anything else. Yeah, BrT is just not having anything. Seems like almost Brighead actually saved the day here. Killer Boy is rebuilding the TC if you have a look at the minimap, and he is having pretty nice army going for a second TC, so that means he is popped. I probably have to agree, because he's having 2 flanks. And well, that's a big battle here, because Leonardo actually arrived at a pretty sweet spot for some Willy raiding, as J4 had quite a lot of food willies at those 2 elephants. They will decay, but still be quite okay. But this will be serious downtime in the food gathering, because literally every food gathering willy for J4 will be idle right now. So that's a pretty good trade from Leonardo. Very, very good one. And he already killed quite some willies. Actually quite a lot of them. Wow, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 willies. That's quite a lot, to be honest. And he's right now forced to go for Dwarven Mine and gather at his base. In the minimap you can also see that right now Metallo is going for second TC. Same as goes for Seattle, who is already at second, and Leonardo is taking his forward. So all BrTs recognize that they are in a pretty good spot, and well, at the same time though, this TC is not going to be finished, because Brighead is in a pretty good spot and just discovered that it's being built, which is a very nice play by him. And well, a bit of a problem for Leonardo here. He has though a pretty decent army, and J4 not. And he will need the help from Brighead's army, but once that actually goes back and they catch a deal from both sides, that's going to be a pretty bad slaughter, and Leonardo is going to lose absolutely everything here. And yes, the annihilation of the armies is happening here. Shockwave, it will help a bit, but yeah, the battle is definitely resolved here, and let's have a look at the middle, where actually Seattle together with Metallo are switching the attention from the left player Killer Boy into the middle and trying to kill the pocket Brighead, which is I think a pretty good idea, because Brighead has nothing in his home. Well, nothing, he does something, he does have something, but he is the most important player and most dangerous, so he needs to be somehow corralled so that he can't help his teammates all that much. They at least took down TC, but now they will have to retreat because all three armies, or rather two armies, J4 and BrT, are converging at one point. I was just a bit confused where Killer Boy is, why he's joining the fight, and he's actually at the top, yeah, exactly where the flare is right now going. So this battle is resolved, and well, he's doing a well, pretty good trade in here, as the spy, actually, that was on the wood first, but when the forest fire has been cast, well, he moved into food, and it turned out like a bad idea for Seattle, who has just lost 3 villies on the food, and is forced to retreat from his gold gathering spot. Pretty good job on the Radiant here, so BrT first, and right now Killer Boy is doing his job. And Seattle will probably have to retreat with this army, because in the middle BrT is doing pretty well in returning his team into the game here. And Dots are winning in the score. Yeah, it's just switching a bit in all the players here, but it seems like Dots are getting back into the game in a bit more convincing fashion here. And the Athena rush did work, but not as lethally as BrT definitely hoped. Leonardo is though through heroic as the first one. J4 finally having the upgraded towers, which is going to help him quite a lot in defending, as he won't be needing all that much army in his base. How's it looking somewhere else? Double raid from Killer Boy, who is having 2 flanks right now, which is a pretty nice idea. And BrT into heroic as Braggy. And Green has no gold. Yep. That's a pretty good observation here, because he just made all those gold villies retreat. And are they somewhere else? No, they aren't. They are just now going to the back here, and that's still going to be quite some ways. And well, they are not gathering for like minute and a half at least in total, and that's quite a lot when we're at a 15 minutes game. Well, this is definitely a battle that Purple actually should take, because if you look at Seattle's army, it's almost dead everything, and he should be getting some pretty easy kills here. So that's, well, that's a decision he had to take, and he decided that he wants to battle at some better spot. And well, Leonardo right now is retreating from all the armies from BrT at J4, trying to fight something to raid. He right now probably knows about those goat villies, so BrT should be careful about it. But something else, as this is going to be just a raiding around, not really anything important. At the forefront, it seems like Leonardo will be trying to keep J4 off his front TC, which will be another important, strategically important point in this game. And well, yeah, this is not a good spot right now for Killer Boy together with BrT, I'm afraid. They are in between 2 armies, and those extra birdies are especially a worry here for BrT or for DoDs, because they have literally nothing that could target those. Well, just this one throwing Axeman, that's not really going to kill it. So Leonardo interested in this 30C. Biggies from BrT trying to take down this palace, which they probably should retreat, or will they not? It seems like they want, and he definitely wants to take down this palace, which is, I think, a good idea, because it both stops destroyers from being built, which is a pretty crucial unit at this stage of the game, I think, and at the same time will allow this TC to be taken by J4 with slightly less effort than otherwise. Just still Leonardo's army running around, not doing a whole much, and a whole lot. And well, Seattle was trying to take his front TC, which he was unfortunately discovered here by Killer Boy. But Killer Boy doesn't really have enough army here, but I think some reinforcements will be arriving soon, and it will be BrT here. Finally Seattle going slaughtered here, yeah. Yeah, that's basically the army that we were looking at the more northward position earlier, that we thought might be a good spot to actually take the battle, and right now you see that it was a decent spot. Killer Boy has lost TC. Oh, this is why. This is actually another raid by Metal, who has been able to amass a bit of medium hoplites. Still not really any upgrades here. Is he at least heroic? No, he isn't. He's still classic, which is curious. Killer Boy at 1 TCs at least. but it should be defensible. Quite okay by Killer Boy without any problems. I'm just waiting for some extra spawns, and he won't really even need that. He has enough army here to get with J-Force raiding cavalry, and this some kind of threat is stopped right now. At the right though, J4 should be careful, as he will be needing his army at home as well. As Leonardo is in some kind of mindset that he actually wants to attack. Yeah, he's gonna gathering the armies here for something big, and armory being dropped, that means Bragi will be very soon coming up. Right now, not really many battles happening here, but for this very important raid from Seattle. And he killed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 villies on the foot, which is quite important at this stage of the game as well. So very good ratings from both teams in this game all along, and this battle is still not over. I was thinking that it actually was over, but Metallo is not giving up, and that's kind of curious, to be honest. Not exactly sure why he insists on fighting this classical age battle when he actually can advance into some heroic and mythic with this BTC's use when dots are just 3-1-2. Kinda interesting choice, but I hope they know what they're doing. I hope they know what they're doing and that it will pay off for them. Seattle is right now joining the battle here, but Brigade as well, so that's pretty much a 2v2 because J4's army is slowly getting killed here and he's not really sending anything extra. And what's happening here in the middle? Oh, that's Brigade's TC again under attack. This time it's a double from Seattle with Leonardo, and well, this TC already got taken down earlier in the game and right now it's again. So is BrT interested in taking this TC or this one? They really should. Because right now I'm kinda expecting they are in a pretty good spot to take something like that. And yes, finally they are. Finally they are. They are stealing J4's front TC and troubles will be ensuing here. Is the Bragi finally going somewhere up? Yeah, 94% for J4. Brigade is Balder and right now has called Ragnarok, and this is very interesting. So is J4 going for the same thing? It's going to be very probably a moment of truth here, because if this Ragnarok, I think is going to be going left and they will try to kill Metallo, who is still just in classical age. I think that would be the best, because Blue is weak. Yeah, okay, Ractile. Alright, so they decided they want to kill the stronger ally here from BrT, and I think that Metallo won't be able to help because of his weakness. But is he actually weak? This is a pretty strong forward base here, and they are going for some tower spam as well. This is not going to be easy to defend, especially when Green is with all his army here. Well, is he switching to the right? He is, and he's trying to steal Killer Boy's 30C, and wow, this is painful. This is a very good raid as well. Killer Boy right now employing some flaming weapons. Wow, this is ugly. This is ugly, so let's switch it to the left, where Killer Boy has cast the flaming weapons to defend. Well, this is pretty forwardish for Fortress and very gutsy. And at the same time though, it's not really all that bad. It would help if it wasn't under the fire here. But well, it is, and it's very close, and I'm not thinking exactly that Killer Boy can win this by himself. So let's have a look at the right, how the heroes of Ragnarok are doing. They will definitely kill Leonardo, there's just no way they can defend, especially when J4 joins the battle here. Not really any upgrades, but well, those heroes of Ragnarok do have the upgrades. And right now it's just a question of time before Leonardo is definitely killed with all his armies. But at the same time, I'm kinda worried that on the left, Killer Boy won't be able to hold once his flaming weapons are gone. Because right now, yeah, Leonardo is more or less out of the game. And the sheer spam of the units here from Metallo, 3 TCs versus 2 on Killer Boy's side is going to come into play. Yeah, you see that 3 dots have just 2 TCs, whereas BrTs are at 4, 1, 3, and just quite strong. Finally, some heavy hoplites, going to be very strong, and we have an underworld passage to the right. to the right, and he will be helping kill the Heroes of Ragnarok here. I think that's a pretty good idea, because Killer Boy is basically no threat whatsoever, and if they can kill the Ragnarok before it does more damage to his allies, it will be worth it, I think. Oh, let's have a look at some upgrades from green. At least the baseline and better PS shield, so that's pretty okay. That's pretty okay, and Leonardo has lost the top TC and is losing a bit of villagers here to the rest of the Heroes of Ragnarok, but that's not going to be all that important right now. J4 trying to raid, but not very successfully. And it seems like J4 is actually having quite a lot of resources as he's asking his allies what they need, and he's taken his 30C and he is aiming to actually put Leonardo out of the game altogether. And he will probably take this TC very soon as well, and he will be the important and crucial force in the game. The fourth TC from Seattle has been destroyed and will be retaken by Killer Boy probably right now. Didn't have anything to fight against, but yeah, he has to be careful because Blue is coming back and he's coming back to hand out some serious punishment here. I'm just gonna quick check if Blue is going for Mythic. Not yet, but some trade routes disrupted, obviously. And it seems like Heroes of Ragnarok are just aiming somewhere, not in Green's base. Or actually they are, but those birdies are just going for them and trying to kill it, and yes, they are just going to die. This is not really any strong force, and these guys seem to be going back to defend against the strong push from Metallo, which is very strong indeed, and J4 will be in Ragnarok pretty soon. Okay, so that's very interesting and important at the same time, because this push is not something that Killer Boy can handle, and I think not even with Big Ed's help. And once the Heroes of Ragnarok come into the battle again, they might be able to push through, and I'm kinda expecting that J4 might be coming with a lower force into the left to defend, and with slightly larger force into the middle, and try to delete Seattle in the same way that they deleted Leonardo. So yeah, BrT's better be careful here, because the window of opportunity for them is closing right now, and they better take it before it closes altogether. Still not having any upgrades whatsoever, because yeah, there's the Zeus and he's just waiting for the mythical age to get the cheaper from the Hephaestus, but he's still not in, not even advancing, and well, Heroes of Ragnarok trying to raid here, not really doing a whole lot anywhere else, and well, J4 right now, yep, he has already stolen the 4th TC, or rather 3rd from Leonardo. Leonardo is still not retaking the TCs, just the one here at the back, and with how this game is going, and Seattle right now going full into the attack here, or rather defense on the right, it's kinda looking very interesting indeed. So Metallo is finally into Mythic, so we should be seeing some interesting upgrades from him. Killer Boy trying to retake his TC, and right now this is a very strong double, and not even those Heroes from Ragnarok, those few guys left from Brighead, are going to help here, but at least the TCs are more or less equal. Right now in Dot's favor, actually 3-4-1, and is Dot actually on the winning path here? Could be, and with J4's Ragnarok, he just might be. If he is having a pretty good amount of villies, and I think he has because he wasn't raided at all in the last minutes or anything, I'm thinking it should be a very good Ragnarok. Right now it's cast. Let's have a look at this army. Oh, about upgrades. Baseline, but I'm thinking, yeah, everything being researched here. So it's going to be very strong indeed, and that's going to be basically a repetition of what Brighead did on the right, and again it's going to be going through the right as well. Seattle going to Helios, but right now I'm kinda thinking it's not going to help a whole lot, because he's not having a whole that much of an army. He just lost everything here to the double from Killer Boy and Brighead, and well, can actually Metal somehow capture this base here from Killer Boy? Well, he better hurry, because once the Heroes of Ragnarok actually join the battle, that's not going to be on. It's not going to be on anymore, and well, Underworld Passage is gone. And right now the army of J4 is getting pretty scary, especially with the flaming weapons right now. So yeah, this is something that Green can do absolutely nothing about. Teal has been killed earlier and he's still not recuperated and restored in any way. Just a few Arcus is here, but that's not really going to be enough to stop this onslaught. And well, is this going to be the decisive push here from J4? I think we are not far from a decisive point in the game here. So yes, we know how this battle is going to go. Let's have a look somewhere else. This is actually Seattle MC gathering wood in the middle of Dod's base. Okay, he's probably waiting here for this TC or some other, maybe this TC. That's kinda curious. And well, how's it looking in the Killer Boy's base? Kinda stallishly. Metallo is upgrading his units, but not having the advantage, even though he's building some extra towers and stuff. So Killer Boy is doing pretty well, even without TCs, together with his Brighead teammate. And well, the red is just all over Green right now. Just all over him, and that's going to be very nice here for DoDs. That's a pretty good strategical position here from Seattle, as he's positioning his Arcuses in a spot where they can't be actually flanked. And just a few of them can be attacked at the same time, so that's basically like a Thermopylae from the 300. Just the hot gates here in very nice effect. But it's not really going to change anything, the result of this battle. Switching back to the left, it seems like Killer Boy is gaining ground under his flags, and Myrmidons are trying to stop this TC from being built. And even though they are masked pretty nicely from all these extra buildings here, I was just going to say they won't be enough, but when I saw the actual amount of spam here, and I think he already has the upgrades here, he has, yes. It started to look good for Killer Boy, but stopped suddenly. Right now this is the full power of the Mythical Zeus, and Killer Boy is having just one TC. Brigade is not fully in, and he's somewhere in the middle, probably slinging his allies or something. Not really sure right now, but well, that's that. The Ragnarok is actually somehow nullified, which is a thing I completely honestly did not expect. So pretty good job from BrT in actually defending this with the Arcuses and the BrTs, so pretty good job. And J4 recognizes that the battle is not to be won so easily, so he will be content with taking 50C and forming some nice base here. At the same time, we have seen Vortex being used by Seattle, who is right now joining the battle here together with Metallo, and that's a pretty good idea, because Metallo was winning here in the 1v1 basically against Killer Boy, and yet this TC won't be coming up anytime soon with all this extra army from Seattle, because he's not needed on the right. Because Leonardo is having some kind of army of Arcuses of his own to defend against J4 and stall. This game is right now turning back into BrT's favor. So it seems like the Ragnarok wasn't exactly the decisive push that we thought it might be, and TC is going down. Yeah, it will be going down because there's absolutely no army to defend against it, and Metallo is taking 4th TC, and once he does, it's going to be all that stronger Mythical Zeus. So this is a pretty much all or nothing right now, and Delts have to defend, and they can't let Metallo take the 4th TC, because if they can, it's a game done, I'm afraid, for them. So it's a pretty good job here on the left. Killer Boy just saying that he's probably dead, and right now running away from his home base. And how's it looking at the right? J4 wasn't really allowed to take this TC, but he's having still enough army, some remaining heroes of Ragnarok, to make life difficult for Leonardo. And Seattle just now using his 2nd Vortex to go back and help his teammate against J4. And this should be enough to actually stop this. But will it be enough to go for some push? It might be, because Leonardo has been building some extra destroyers, so they will be able to take the TC if they opt to do so. But right now they're not interested, and they might be interested in actually securing this TC first. How's it looking at the left? Well, Killer Boy was trying to take this TC that was free for quite some time. Metallo trying to stop him, but not really with any effect whatsoever. With Brighead and J4 stopping him, but he is still very much on his way to retaking this home base from Killer Boy. And yeah, right now with the hill fort done and this battle going for Metallo, this is basically for TC Zeus in Mythic. Okay, so that's where things get very serious right now for DoDs, because they won't be able to defend this TC either. I'm pretty sure of it at this point. Even though Brighead is having a decent army here, it seems like Metallo's extra pop that right now he got will be enough to keep his Brigade's army busy at the top and at the same time go for the attack at the bottom. Yeah, right now building fortress to secure his position here, which will be up without any problem, and he will be continuing with the TC anytime soon here. Even though Killer Boy is having some Ulfsarks here, it's okay. And as he's looking at the right, J4 is doing all he can to stall both of his opponents. He is at 4 TCs and he's playing against 4 TCs as well, but that's still some extra pop, but shouldn't be all that much. Just going to make sure that everybody is having some decent upgrades. Oh well, Leonardo still not having ones, but he was pretty heavily damaged by the Ragnarok from Brighead, so it's kinda understandable. It's kinda understandable, but if BrTs want to keep J4 on a short leash, they better go for it and go for some upgrades here. So they should be probably taking this a bit more defensively, because they can see that J4 is not going anywhere. He just doesn't have the power to push through them both. And on the left, it seems like Metallo is in a pretty good spot. Even though, as I was saying that this TC should be coming for Metallo's favor as well, it's not. But this other one is, yeah, he's just having all that extra army and strong units against double Lokis, one Loki and one Thor. With the Myrmidons, that's all he needs here. That's a pretty good job, and well, those are trying to counter this with some extra tower spam, but Alepoli are probably going to stop to that. Yes, they are. They probably won't be successful because those towers are so slow to build, and yeah, time is right now something that Killer Boy and DoDs don't really have. So the TC is finished, Metallo at 5 TCs, Killer Boy at 0. And right now, that's interesting. On the right side, J4 is securing his TC, so he is right now, I'm thinking, interested in helping his teammates at the left. He will be trying to building spam his position on the right so that nobody can come through. Killer Boy just now saying that he's dead, and yeah, I have to agree. J4 is not going anywhere here, but he is binding 2 players, so it's all up. If Brighead together with Killer Boy can somehow stop Metallo, but he is at 5 TCs. And it's not like Norse are good late game against Zeus. It seems like Brighead is right now interested in taking down the fortress and taking on the buildings, but yep. The army of Metallo is somewhere else, right now raiding Brigade's villies, and he had to switch some of them into Ulfsarks, which is at least a bit stalling there, but he's going to lose most of those villies anyway. Yeah, this TC is free and will be good for the taking right now, for Metallo as well. And to be honest, I'm right now not sure what should happen to actually turn this around. Brighead is definitely doing all he can, the J4 as well. But Killer Boy is right now pretty much out of the game because he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any TCs. I think he's pretty much dead on Echo as well. He's doing just like a few Viris that can't help, and well, this Destruction Derby from the Myrmidons and a bit of Alepoli is just taking havoc to absolutely everything in DoD bases. On the right, we have some nice raiding from Seattle into Killer Boy's villies here again. Killer Boy lost some extras, Leonardo advancing into Mythic as well, and I'm thinking that Killer Boy won't be advancing into Mythic, but J4 is not intent on helping his teammate, and he will be trying to finish his opponent, Leonardo, which is a kinda curious choice, because I'm not thinking that Leonardo is the threat here. I'm thinking that the real threat is really on the left Metallo. There's absolutely no way that Seattle together with Leonardo can go somewhere front here. They are very slow in this. Right now, finally some destroyers, but yeah, really, they're kinda slowish in this, and Brigade has lost 2 TCs at once. This one to Myrmidons, this one to Helepola and Myrmidons, and this is, I think, pretty much a done deal. I'm not expecting this is going to go for dots in the end, so pretty good job by BRTs. Metallo trying to take a 6 TC, although Brigade is definitely resistant together with a few Killer Boys wheelies. But I'm not thinking this resistance is going to be for long here, so yeah. Resistance is futile, Borgs are arriving at this TC. What's it looking like at the right? Well, Metallo just right now going for some killing spree of the TCs and going to limit J4 at just 3 TCs in a matter of moments here. So this J4 has lost this TC, and just a few seconds earlier he has lost this one again as well to Seattle. So he's right now down to 2. And yes, with all this extra army, and I'm thinking maybe... Ah yeah, finally some upgrades here from Leonardo, and that's all that actually makes the difference here. So we have 5 TCs, 5-3-2 against 2-2-0. And J4 getting killed here on the right. And yes, J4 recognizes that they lost. Killer Boy as well, and Brigade as well. So this was a very exciting game, going back and forth. First, very nice Athena rush and double on the left on Killer Boy, who definitely got the shortest end of the stick here. So it was favor in BRT in the early game. In the middle it was going for dots very nicely, and well, in the end it turned into BRTs again, so pretty good job and a very, very interesting game. So let's have a look at the post game here. Metallo as the MVP. That happens with Zeusis. Well, very strong echo. Very, very strong echo indeed. That's really well played, I have to say, from Metallo. And he just owned everybody in absolutely everything here. $155 heavy Myrmidons, or rather champion Myrmidons. That does a whole lot of damage to Norse. That really does. Bull Minotaur, that's not something you see all that often. Usually don't see them upgraded into Bull, but that's what happened in this game as well. Amongst other interesting things. Everybody's economy seemed to be pretty strained. Just a bit of extra wood from Leonardo here, and Killer Boy. Gold as well, it seemed, from Killer Boy, but yeah, he didn't really have anything to build for it. So yeah, that's that, and that's a very interesting and good result for BRTs 1v1 with Deities of Death.